What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Wrestling Radar podcast here on Ram Nation Radio. We're back after a week off for the Thanksgiving holiday. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I'm Ryan Moderano, as always, your host, alongside the co-host, or the host, and I'm the co-host, whatever we want it to be. Nick Moderano. Nick, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I say we do equal duties here on the show. We each do our part.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I just don't want you to feel like you're below, even though you're the little brother and whatever. We both I
think we all know that I'm the Nick Jackson of the group.
Oh, well, that's actually pretty funny because we're gonna get into something funny like that.
A little foreshadowing for later.
Yeah, as the show goes on. But as always, before we start the show here on Ram Nation Radio, just want to remind you guys to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the Wrestle Radar. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at The Wrestling Radar. Link is in the bio on our Instagram page. We have a ton of cool things coming up in the next coming weeks. A lot of fun things. Black Friday was last week, so me and Nick both went a little crazy with the shirts. Nick more so than me. Went to Hot Topic on Thanksgiving night. Got some sweet deals from Hot Topic, $10 t-shirts. Nick took advantage of the Pro Wrestling Tees Black Friday sale. Yeah. So you're going to do an unboxing video?
Yeah, I got an unboxing from Pro Wrestling Tees coming on Monday, and then Hot Topic should be coming in sometime next week. So I'll just combine the two, make one video.
Cool.
Also, too, next week, me and you and a couple other people, you're probably seeing the day in the life. We are heading out to Freehold, New Jersey. I Play America to go meet the man, Becky Lynch.
The man.
I'm really excited. I haven't met Becky Lynch since her NXT days, when me and you met her at Full Sail University before NXT taping.
Well, we met her. We kind of met her in the hotel after Evolution. It wasn't
really a formal meet and greet, so it's gonna be nice to get a nice picture with her. And iPlay does a great job with their meet and greets. Yeah. And then the week after that, ROH Final Battle. Gonna do a day in the life of that. I'm so excited. That's gonna be such a great show. Great card already announced. Maybe more to come. Who knows?
Yeah, we can get into that too.
Yeah. So maybe we'll run down that. Maybe next week or so. But yeah, like Ryan said, a lot of good things coming up, so make sure to stay tuned and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Absolutely, and of course, as always, get in on the conversation on Facebook Live, Ram Nation Radio on Facebook. You go to facebook.com/Ram Nation Radio. Find this live stream right now. Comment on the stream, and we could have some conversations. Let us know what your thoughts are on everything we hit today on the show. I know David Post is watching, as always. We appreciate you, man. Thank you always for supporting. So let's get down to it. Do we even want to start off talking the way we usually talk about?
I feel like we have to. We got to address it. We got to talk about the atrocity, the embarrassment that is Monday Night Raw. I don't want to hop on the bandwagon because everyone's talking about it, and I'm sure our opinions is the same as what everyone else is saying. But I feel like we got to throw our 2 cents in there and talk about it for at least a little bit.
I mean, I hate to be that person that comes on here week after week and just complains, I mean, we got a bunch of them on the internet that just sit there and just complain and just everything that they have a problem with. And we're not like that, Like, we do give credit when credit's due. Like, we know how good this product could be. I mean, we've seen glimpses of it in the past, like how good the WWE can be when they want to be. But this show on Monday night, I mean, my goodness. Did it have just nothing? Nothing came out of this show. Like, we wasted 3 hours and got nothing.
I mean, literally. I mean, I did not watch Raw. I mean, I usually don't. I haven't watched Raw. Really sat down and watched it in a while. So all night, I mean, I had the Islander game to watch or some other stuff to watch, and so I was flipping back and forth. And I tell you, every single time I flipped on to USA Network. I would be off it in 2 seconds because there'd be something going on that'd be like, this is so stupid. It has nothing to do with any storylines, and it's an embarrassment. Like that's not like, look, I'm not embarrassed to tell people I watch wrestling, but like to have it on the TV and to see people like watch it, they'd be like, that's what you like. It's like, it is embarrassing at some point.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. If a non-wrestling fan was trying to get into wrestling, this is probably the last show that they would ever watch of wrestling. Like, they would never watch wrestling again. And I totally would not blame them. That's how bad this show was from beginning to end. I mean, there was literally, like, sometimes you get something good on the show. There was nothing good about this show whatsoever. And I really feel bad for the people that paid to be there in attendance. Because, people pay their hard-earned money, all right? People work for their money. People take their family to the shows. And that obviously has to cost a lot of money to go there and see this. Now, I know that Roman Reigns is out. I know that Braun Strowman is out now. I know, WWE's got a lot of injuries and a lot of problems, but they still got some talent there that they could build around. That's no excuse for how poor this show was just all throughout. I mean, again, segment after segment, just pointless
I think
things.
Their biggest problem is that, like I said, I mean, that's not using people right. Like, you got Drew McIntyre. You got two guys, Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler, together in a team with Baron Corbin and Bobby Lashley now. Like, why isn't Drew McIntyre go and do his own thing with someone else? Have, Finn Balor feud with Drew McIntyre. That could be a top feud on Raw. But no, they stick people in these feuds that just make no sense. And then you have Elias in that I guess, if you don't even call it a feud with them. They don't make the right groups. They don't put together the right people to, feud with each other. It's just not entertaining. It's not. I mean,
it's not. John Grande comments on this video, says Monday Night Raw, aka the Baron Corbin show.
Yeah,
he's 100% right, because you start off with Baron Corbin, you end the show with Baron Corbin,
and every now and then you get a little segment backstage with Baron.
You see him all throughout the night.
I got nothing against him. I really don't. I think that his role as general manager definitely helped him on the mic and helped him get a little more confidence in himself. But just it's old now. It's over. I'm so tired of seeing him on my TV.
It's too much. I know. It's too much Baron Corbin for my liking. And I used to like the guy. I still do like the guy, but I don't like him in this role, Nick. I do agree that the GM role helped him on the mic, with his mic skills. But I mean, is he going to get in there and ever wrestle again? Like, I don't understand. Like, what's the long-term plan here? He's going to get fired. He's going to go back to having matches regularly. So he's going to go from, basically in Stephanie McMahon's corner, right, making the decisions on the show, to being just another person on the show when the time comes. Like, I just think it's the stupidest thing.
I think that the whole GM role is stupid. I think that we don't need to have a physical person be in charge of Monday Night Raw, because we all know that Baron Corbin's not making the decisions. Hell, Stephanie McMahon might not even make half the decisions that happen on Raw. There are people in the back that we will never see that make these decisions. So, like, why am I going to believe that Baron Corbin's making these matches official?
That's exactly it.
It's just, I think that Raw would benefit from not having every single Monday night start off with Baron Corbin coming up and telling us what's going to happen on Raw.
The same thing, Nick.
Let the show. I mean, that was my problem when Kurt Angle was GM. Was every single week he'd come out, "Hey, Long Island, welcome to Monday Night Raw. We have a great show." Don't tell me what's going to happen. Just let it play out.
It's the same opening every week. And if it's not, like, literally, it's always Baron Corbin. It's always Braun Strowman. Last week, it was Stephanie McMahon with them. This week, it's Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. Next week, they'll probably throw Dolph Ziggler in there. It's the same thing. On NXT, do we see William Regal come out every goddamn second?
Never.
No, we don't. Okay, I was watching NXT UK today. You saw Johnny Saint, who is the GM of the show, once on the 2-hour doubleheader block when he came out with the championship to give to Rhea Ripley.
Which is a moment he should come out for. But like I said, listen, there's no need to, like, I miss back in the day when Raw would start, the pyro would hit, and the show just goes. I don't need to be briefed on what's going to happen over these next 3 hours. Just let the show go.
Yeah.
Like, it takes away from, the reality of it, the reality of it, if you want to try and, make it seem a little bit more real. Like I said, I think that there's nobody has ever benefited from, like, the GM of Monday Night Raw, the role of that.
No, absolutely not. And just, like, I just don't understand how these creative writers still have jobs. Like, I mean, how do they write this television show, wake up the next morning, and feel good about themselves? Do they really wake up and look in the mirror and say, we produced a great show last night? There is no way they could. I mean, if they think that, they are so far out of touch, and even farther than Vince McMahon is.
The scary thing is they might not even care, which is even worse than that. They might, like, sit in that room and, plan, 4 weeks of Monday Night Raw and just BS their way through it and be like, all right, that's fine. Like, I hate this, oh, we're successful, we don't need to work even harder. I hate that mentality.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. They put no effort into any of the storylines, any of the segments, any of the matches. It's the same recycled garbage every single week. We see the same matches every single week.
Yeah, Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
I mean, I just... Like I said, it's just getting ridiculous. Like, I hate complaining because obviously that we have other stuff to turn to than Monday Night Raw. If you see,
thank
Hangman
goodness.
Page, Los Ingobernables. I mean, there's other things for us to watch. I mean, so I'm not going to sit here and complain about it. But I mean, it gets to a point where you have to say something.
Yeah, I mean, but we do genuinely care about the WWE, though. I mean, that's what got us hooked on wrestling as everybody else.
And I'll never stop watching WWE. I mean, I know there are some people, we even ran into a couple people last week, Black Friday shopping, where that they said they don't watch WWE anymore. I can't. I'll never stop watching WWE because that's what got us into it, and that's the most easily accessible.
And we obviously love a lot of the superstars there. We've watched them, and now they're on WWE. We watch them on the Indies.
And I mean, also too, you can't let one rotten show ruin Smackdown Live, NXT, NXT UK,
exactly.
all these great things that they do have going on.
Mario Martinez chimes in and says, it would help if they put an effort into Raw, period. No way Jose versus Jinder Mahal, really?
Oh, God, that was terrible.
And what are they doing with Bobby Roode? It's a disaster. His TNA run was way more meaningful at this point. I mean, yeah, let's just talk about that for a second. I mean, we haven't even been on the air since Drake Maverick pissed his pants. That's a storyline on WWE TV right now.
That just, like, I mean, that just ruined, for me at least, AOP. And I was even thinking about this, too, like, ever since AOP debuted on Raw, I even said to myself, why in the world would they ever drop Paul Ellering? Unless it was a contract problem or Ellering didn't want to work the full-time schedule, I agree with that. But putting him with a guy like Drake Maverick, who's tiny, half the size of them, why in the world would they listen to someone like him?
Look, exactly. He's the least intimidating person that they could have paired with them. And I realize that they're not good on the microphone. I realize that they do need some sort of mouthpiece, but they could have probably gotten away without a mouthpiece. They could have just said simply, Paul Ellering taught us all we needed to know in NXT, and now we're ready to go on our own. Like, they could have, like, graduated, and now they could be on their own and just destroy people. They don't need a mouthpiece. They don't need Drake Maverick being that mouthpiece.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just like, it just doesn't seem, he's not intimidating. I mean, it helped, like, it was worse when Drake Maverick was dressing like them, but as soon as he started, like, that made it a little bit better, but still, it's like, how do you expect, me to look at the guys like Akam and Razor and them taking orders from Drake Maverick?
It's ridiculous.
Especially, too, now the only way they can win matches is by Drake Maverick pissing himself. Like, I mean...
Yeah. I know, he's pissing on Bobby Roode's robe in the backstage, and that distracts Roode, right, from the match. Like he can't go get another robe. Like, it's just like, it's the stupidest things that they come up with. It's just like that Sasha Banks and Bayley segment, right, with Alexa Bliss. They're going to have a Q&A, right? So they want to get some questions from the crowd. Obviously, there had to be somebody planted there because they went to one question. Charlie Caruso goes over to her, and, like, I forget what the question was, but then, like, all of a sudden they just start fighting each other, and then, like, Dana Brooke comes out of nowhere, and, like other people, right? And then it's just, like, brawling, and then music hits, let's go to a commercial. Like, what was the point? Like, what did I just watch?
That's another thing wrong with Monday Night Raw, is that their women's division is depleted. I mean,
it's terrible.
And it sucks because, like, obviously the women's title has revolved around Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, and Ronda Rousey for the past however many months, and it is a shame that I honestly why not after honestly I don't know why Nia Jax even got this second opportunity, but why not throw Sasha Banks have a couple month feud with Ronda Rousey? Hell, Sasha could do a hell of a good job as a heel.
Somebody different, Nick. I mean we've seen Nia Jax and Ronda Rousey. The ship has sailed, and let's just go right into that segment. What a train wreck that was. What was the point of that? More words to each other face to face, like we haven't seen that. Like we saw that leading up to Money in the Bank. Why was that necessary again? And Nia Jax, I'm sorry, she's terrible. She's absolutely terrible in every aspect of.
I tried to give her a chance. I really did, because I mean, I said I don't want to be the one that rags and everything, but God, she's really bad. She's so bad.
Nice person. We met her in Access.
Really nice person.
Orlando, WrestleMania 2017.
Can't do anything wrestling wise.
She just is absolutely god awful. And then Ronda comes out looking like she's like bleeding from her eyes. I mean, this makeup is just atrocious at this point.
She has some weird makeup styles.
Yeah, and then she'll go brag about it on Instagram. I don't understand. Like, it just looks very weird. Comes out, and then like all of a sudden the Riot Squad come out, and then Natalya comes out, and then just like another segment that was a dud.
It's like they're just one giant like cluster F. It really is.
It's
like I feel like they just don't know what they're doing. Like honestly, I really wish that Raw can just like hit the reset button. Just like every single feud's going on right now, just stop and just hit the reset button. And next week, just go brand new. Like that would be amazing if they could ever do something like that.
It certainly would, but I ain't holding my breath.
It's much needed too. And honestly, one thing I wanted to bring up too with Monday Night Raw, talking about it, that I really think that there's a simple fix to all this. I think just move it back to 2 hours. Just imagine how much crap you can cut out of Monday Night Raw if you have to take an entire hour. Now, especially since Raw ends at 11 on the dot, and an entire hour of garbage you can take out of Raw. You could have taken out, No Way Jose versus Bobby Roode. Jinder Mahal. Could have taken out the Sasha Bailey thing. Could have taken out,
You could have taken out probably every segment on the show.
You could have taken out half that show and then still had the Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose things, which have meaning to them, which I get. The Ronda and Nia Jax, which I guess have meaning because there's an actual feud going on. Yeah. And then the, whatever Baron Corbin, Drew whatever they're calling themselves, that, feud.
Yeah, what are they calling themselves? My God, is it a stable? Did Dolph Ziggler just walk away from McIntyre when we weren't, paying attention? Just nothing.
If that's a stable, God help them. Oh my
nothing
God.
makes sense. I mean,
really
literally, I think maybe final points on Raw here because I don't want to really talk about the show anymore. I mean, it's just that terrible. But the show ended the same way it started with Baron Corbin, Bobby Lashley, and Drew McIntyre standing tall. So I mean, it's just why? I'm seriously not gonna invest my time on Monday nights anymore. And after how good Smackdown was last night, I don't need to watch Raw. I really don't. Monday nights used to be a thing where I would look forward to coming home from school or whatever I was doing on Mondays and watch Raw, and I'd be excited for it, and I'd stay up late,
I'd sit in school and just be like, oh, great, Raw's tonight, I can't wait, because it was Monday Night Raw was the show. Smackdown was my favorite show growing up, only because, I was able to watch the entire thing, because it was a Friday night, no school the next day, but, I looked forward to Monday Night Raw, because that had, Batista, John Cena, Triple H, those had, those guys on it, so, yeah, that was the A show back then, and they're still stuck in that mentality of that Raw being the A show, hence Survivor Series, making Raw do the clean sweep. I mean, it's just, they just got to get stuck out of these ways and realize that it's not anymore and things got to change.
Things do got to change, but do I expect them to change? Absolutely not.
No.
Let's talk about SmackDown last night, though. Much better show. What a breath of fresh air that was. I mean, oh my God. Nick, the first 5 minutes were better than the whole 3 hours of Raw.
Yeah, with the return of the man, Becky Lynch.
Oh, man, let me tell you. She walks out with that swagger, with her new the man, Titantron. I mean, she is literally the man.
She is the best thing going on in WWE right now.
Oh, man, she's the only thing I care about. I mean, really, she makes everything better. Walks into the room, and it's the whole room lights up. Just like the room behind us just lit up from the light going out. Literally, she just has the power to walk out with her swagger, throw the title up in the air, and just wow, all right, I'm already loving the show. Before she even says 2 words on the microphone, before she even gets to the ring, has 1 foot out of the curtain, and already everything's better. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, no, Becky Lynch really, she elevates SmackDown Live.
That opening segment was really good. It set up Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair at TLC in a tables, ladders, and chairs match. The first ever.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say.
There you go.
They mentioned it for the first time. The first time ever. So we should do a count how many times you hear that from now to TLC. Because they're going to shove that down your throat as much as they can.
But for this time, it really is the first time ever. I don't believe it's ever been a women's TLC match. So I'm really excited for it.
If you really think about it, we kind of saw that at Evolution.
Basically,
because they used tables, ladders, and chairs, but it wasn't an officially TLC match. But then Paige announced, first you have Mandy Rose coming out, and then you have, every other woman on the SmackDown Live roster coming out and saying how they deserve a shot at the title. So Paige sets up a battle royal for later on the night. I think we all knew Asuka was going to win. And, man, let me tell you, that sets up for a insane match at TLC.
Absolutely.
I mean, Charlotte versus Becky versus Asuka TLC match. I honestly, I think that should main event the show.
Oh, absolutely, Nick.
I mean, there's nothing else. I mean, it probably won't, knowing WWE, but there's nothing else that could possibly be better than that. I mean,
I mean, AJ and Daniel Bryan, or Seth and Dean Ambrose are the only other 2 that I could see main eventing. But I mean, even all those guys are probably saying to WWE officials, no, let this match main event, because everybody is stoked for this. If you can't get excited about seeing this match, I mean, you should probably just stop watching WWE as a whole, because this is what we're talking about. This is why we still watch and we still love the product, because we know how capable they are of putting on great shows and great segments and setting up great matches like this. This is going to be a banger. This is going to be so good. And why did they add Asuka to the mix? I have no idea. I mean, I really have no clue why they did. It should have just been Becky and Charlotte, because in my opinion, that's the feud of the year in WWE.
Yeah, but I don't mind adding Asuka into the mix, only because maybe they don't want to water down the Charlotte and Becky feud by having too many matches. Maybe they have some more stuff planned for later on in the year.
See, the stipulation makes it not watered down. If it was a one-on-one match between them, no stipulation, I agree. We've seen that already. But the fact that it's a TLC match, I don't understand it, but whatever. Again, I'm not complaining that Asuka is in it. Obviously, she was the best choice. I was pulling for Sonya Deville, though. I would be lying if I said I wasn't.
Yeah, there was a small part of me that, after she eliminated Naomi, I was like, maybe. I was like, nah, probably not. But
And they had some sick chemistry in those 5 to 7 minutes.
well, they both have good. So obviously Sonya has her MMA background, and Asuka has some kind of you can tell she has some kind of MMA background with her kicks and the way she does it. So they had great in-ring chemistry there.
I think she's got a bright future ahead of her. So Sonya Deville, I think, came out of that as a winner. Hopefully they take notice and see something in her. And if Becky and Charlotte do end up on Raw so they could face Ronda Rousey coming into Mania season, I think obviously it opens up a lot of opportunities for people like Sonya Deville to capture the Women's Championship
also
or be featured.
For some Raw women to jump ship and head over to SmackDown.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Hopefully Sasha Banks.
Got to change it up, freshen up the scene because it's getting too stale very, very quickly.
And honestly, I'm going to make a bold picture now. I don't see Becky walking out of TLC as champ.
Yeah.
And nothing, and I don't think it's going to diminish her as the man. It's not going to diminish her character because,
unless she wins the Rumble.
Yeah, which is why I think it will ultimately lead up to her winning the Rumble. And, and
better.
Yeah,
it better.
Yeah, if she's not champ going into the Rumble, she's winning the Rumble. It's like my women's Rumble pick is either whoever's not champ, Charlotte or Becky. Whoever isn't the champ going into the Rumble, they're winning the Rumble.
Yeah, because
it's obvious.
Yeah, I could see Charlotte winning to set up Charlotte and Ronda 2 at Royal Rumble. Becky wins the Rumble. Charlotte, somewhere in the road to WrestleMania, which is very long, can lose the SmackDown women's title. Somehow, some way, I don't know, but they could do whatever they want. Jump ship to Raw, insert herself into the Becky and Ronda stuff like she always inserts herself into. And we could either get a triple threat at WrestleMania between those three, which should be the first ever WrestleMania women's main event because,
definitely.
That's just as good as it gets. Or they'll do Ronda and Becky one-on-one, which they should technically do because we never got that match, and who knows if we will get it one-on-one at this point.
I think that it would be more beneficial, at least for Charlotte's character, to have the match be Charlotte versus Ronda, and then have Becky insert herself into it. Yeah. Only because, like you said, Charlotte always inserts herself into these big matches, and
all the time.
Her inserting herself into the first ever women's main event WrestleMania, that would just kind of be like, to be pushing the envelope a little bit too much for her. I think that Becky would benefit more because, imagine the reactions you get if they announce Becky's in that match now too. Triple threat.
But if she wins the Rumble, that basically gives away that she's in the match.
Yeah.
So who knows? Hey, maybe they'll have a swerve. Maybe they'll do it the other way around. Maybe Becky will retain and face Ronda at Royal Rumble, and then we'll have Charlotte win the Rumble, like you said. So who knows? Really don't know what direction they're going to go in. I think we could both agree Asuka has no shot of winning this. So again, and I know a couple of people are saying that Asuka's in it because she'll take the pinfall. I think you even said that too. A TLC match, there's no pinfall.
Yeah, I don't know. I could have sworn that at one time they've done TLC matches where they're not but the title's not above the ring. But yeah, maybe it will be above the ring. Or maybe my other theory is that maybe that Becky Lynch is ready to return to the ring, but they don't want her taking all these big bumps and shots right away. So maybe they're going to use Asuka kind of as the stunt dummy, kind of take some of the hits.
Yeah, I guess. But if she's really still hurting, she should just be out of a TLC match altogether.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe it's just a backup plan too in case she still can't go. Maybe they think she can go now, but then who knows if she's not cleared yet. I have no idea what they're going to do. But either way, it should be really, really solid. So it was a great way to start SmackDown, and it really got you excited for TLC. Let me tell you, this SmackDown basically built perfectly to TLC.
Mm-hmm.
It really did.
You got what, 3 feuds starting?
3 top, yeah.
Yeah, you got 2 new feuds with Shinsuke and Rusev and Joe and Jeff Hardy. And then you obviously had AJ and Daniel Bryan progress their feud some more.
And I think we get the Usos versus the Bar for the SmackDown tag titles because the Usos beat them last night.
You brought up the Bar. We talk about how much of a waste it was to have Big Show with them for these past couple weeks.
Yeah.
Again, it's why was that necessary for the Big Show to be with them for however many weeks if they're just going to turn on him or he's going to turn on them?
Because you know what? They needed a reason for Drake Maverick to piss his pants. That's exactly why the Big Show was there. If they needed a reason for Drake Maverick to piss himself.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It really is.
Yeah, tell me about it. You don't gotta tell me. What else happened on SmackDown? So Jeff Hardy celebrating his 20th anniversary on the show. That was a very cool moment.
It's insane that he's been doing this for 20 years and still does some of the stuff that he does.
It really is. Favorite Jeff Hardy moment over the years, and not I have some obviously him jumping off of the set onto Randy Orton during the build to the Royal Rumble 2008 was a great thing right there. But I don't think we were watching at that time. I think we watched slightly after that.
I have a lot of favorite Jeff Hardy moments growing up, but I think nothing, at least for me, tops Armageddon. I can't remember the exact. I want to say it was Armageddon 2008.
Yeah.
Triple threat match: Edge, Triple H, and Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
And
good.
I think Triple H hit Edge with the pedigree.
Yep.
And looked like it'll win. All of a sudden, Jeff Hardy comes in, Swanton Bomb, wins the belt. And for me, I was a huge Jeff Hardy fan as a kid, so that was insane moment for me. And then the following Friday on Smackdown, he came out, he got the pyro, the confetti, they had the celebration, and I was in my glory. I
have to agree with you on that because we were in the same boat. We both loved Jeff Hardy so much, and that was back in the day, Nick, when we had to illegally watch the pay-per-views on the free website streaming them.
Yeah, watch them in the 240p and terrible quality.
And I had to stay up late and stuff, and always had to convince our parents to let us stay up because it was a school night. And I remember sometimes hiding it from my dad underneath my bed. He would come and check if I was sleeping. It was ridiculous what we had to go through just to watch these pay-per-views. But that was the time where Jeff Hardy was in the biggest chase for the WWE Championship, and he finally achieved it. And the camera work where the camera doesn't even show Jeff Hardy, he just comes out of nowhere.
Great. And then after the match too, he climbed up to the top of the
the
Armageddon set. Which, by the way, those sets, I wish they'd bring those back. Man, those were so cool back in the day.
Yeah, definitely.
And then held the title. It's just that it was a great moment for Jeff Hardy, someone who's been through a lot and finally got the title.
I know. It was definitely a moment that we both will never forget.
But then a notable moment that I was definitely probably debating between the two was obviously WrestleMania 33 when they made their return, because that was just nobody knew that was going to happen, and
that was the craziest
we were freaking
moment
out live. So.
I think being there live to see, just so cool. Of course, we've always been big Jeff Hardy fans, and I think that was our favorite superstar growing up. So he celebrates 20 years in the WWE, great moment. But obviously with this, there had to be something, right? And unlike Raw, they actually made this segment mean something, right? If Jeff Hardy just came out and just thanked the fans and then went back in and I don't know, good moment, but kind of unnecessary, no? He could have just done that on backstage or with his phone. He could have recorded a promo, hey, thank you guys for 20 years. They had to do something, and they did. Samoa Joe comes out,
and it makes sense. It's
throwing shots at Jeff Hardy about drinking with alcohol, with all of his problems that he had in the past.
He took some pretty big shots on it.
Joe's a savage.
There was some great moments. He probably wasn't conscious enough to really remember any of them.
See, it was great, and now that sets up a feud. No belt involved, but nonetheless, it gives Samoa Joe something to do. It gives Jeff Hardy something to do, and the segment you came out of it okay, that's the direction they're going. It was worthwhile. It was worth your time.
Smackdown is great at doing that, making feuds that don't even revolve around a belt mean something, and I'm excited for this. Samoa Joe and Jeff Hardy are going to work great together, and they're going to have good matches, and I'm going to look forward to it. No belt on the line, no stipulation, a one-on-one match, and it's going to be great. It's going to be better than anything Raw's going to put on the pay-per-view.
They should just Raw should just not participate in TLC.
No.
They should just be all right, we're going to skip this one because SmackDown's killing it with all these matches already for the pay-per-view.
They're really benefiting from these co-branded pay-per-views right now because the Raw. I'm telling you that the Raw pay-per-views would be shit. They'd be terrible.
Thank God they shied away from that. Let me tell you. But great stuff there. Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio. Listen, this is probably the only thing on SmackDown that I don't enjoy. Nick, it's not 2008 anymore. We don't need to see Randy Orton feuding with Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, it's not. It's hard for me because obviously I have a soft spot. Rey Mysterio is another one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. So I'll never not like watching him. But I don't know, Randy Orton to me is getting stale. I just can't. Like I said, there's nothing really going for it right now, and it's just the same thing. Randy Orton attacking somebody holding the mask. It doesn't make sense after a while.
Can Randy Orton just go away like John Cena? Can he go film movies? Can somebody reach out to him and have him in featured films? Because I am tired of seeing him too. And Randy Orton's one of my favorites of all time as well. All right, he is. I loved him growing up. As a heel, he was great. He's great as a heel right now. But it's the year of 2018. I'd rather see a hell of a lot more people than Randy Orton. I can name 10 people off the top of my head I'd rather see and invest my time in than Randy freaking Orton right now.
Yeah, you got to respect the fact that he wants to stick around, but it's we're telling him to go. If Randy, it's fine. You don't got to stick around. You can go. I mean, honestly, like, I'd love to see a good, a proper feud between, Andrade Cien Almas and Rey Mysterio.
Oh,
I think
yeah, of
that would
course.
be, great. I think that, Rey Mysterio should be going for a title soon. United States title. Try and do something with that. I mean, because right now that title is just floating in,
Yeah, well, that's
in irrelevancy.
I mean, Ray and Nakamura should have a feud instead of Nakamura and Rusev. So
Mhm.
still a couple weeks left at TLC. We'll see what they do with that. But yeah, I mean, then SmackDown ends with the Battle Royal. Where Asuka wins, and like I said, a great exchange between her and Sonya Deville. And, goes off the air with Asuka on the top rope, looking at Becky, who's holding the title in the air, looking like a freaking G. And you have Charlotte standing there, mouthing off to both of them. And it was just like a great way to end the show.
And it was a great way to end 2 hours of meaningful wrestling that I didn't feel like I wasted my time, and I enjoyed it.
It was good. It was a quality wrestling show. It really was. It was a great show.
Everything that like really, Raw can be like that. It really can. I believe it can be like that.
It once was.
If it goes to 2 hours. Like, start at 9 o'clock, end at 11 o'clock, and golden. There's no need for that extra hour. It just.
I mean, I don't know if that's USA Network wanting the extra hour or WWE doing it, but yeah, I mean the formula is perfect with 2 hours. It just, they get everything done. Boom, boom, boom. No time for filler. That's the biggest part of Raw is filler. They need to fill 3 hours. So here you go. This is how they do it with stupid segments.
In the words of Bully Ray when he used to come out when he's like the ambassador of Ring of Honor, all thriller, no filler. That's what Raw needs to be.
Yeah, it's farthest thing from it right now. So let's hope things change. But right now, I don't see nothing changing. So
a couple like I guess bright notes that you can talk about Monday Night Raw. Something I saw today. Alexa Bliss posted a picture that she's back in the ring at the Performance Center.
Yeah,
so hopefully she's on her way to making her in-ring return from whatever really her injury was. I'm not really sure what it was that's keeping her out this long, but hopefully she can come back soon because you can see that she's desperately needed sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, like, her being in charge of the women's division is just the stupidest thing I've ever seen as well. Like, that's even worse than Baron Corbin because Alexa Bliss, like, so now all the women have to answer to Alexa Bliss? Like, are you kidding? Like, what? Like, that to me just makes no sense, but they want to keep her on TV. I don't blame them because you need Alexa Bliss on television, okay? Like, she's great at what she does, but let's see her in the ring instead of on the microphone in suits.
Yeah, and then also, too, another report coming out that reportedly, Fox wants Ronda Rousey on SmackDown Live in 2019 when they start their new TV deal. Which, SmackDown is already great, but if Fox has a lot of these demands that they're trying to meet for SmackDown, SmackDown's going to be like crazy how good it can be. But my worry is that I'm not sure. Do you think Ronda is going to be able to stick around for this long for to really get a good like following, good run on SmackDown? Because if you see, she posted a video a couple like a week ago talking about how much how she misses so many things because of shows on the road at WWE, and she has to think about her family or her career. What does she want to do? Like, I feel like she's a little overreactive with some things, so I feel like she's gonna try and drag it out to maybe where she might not be around for that much longer.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I don't think she'll leave in 2019 though. Yeah. Like I don't think I think she's good for another, at least 2 years, I would say. I don't see this as like a 10-year career, obviously, but a couple of years here, I think she'll stick around for some time. But it is an interesting report, and I mean, what Fox wants is what they want. I mean, they're the ones paying the money, so they should get a say, and that would be great because Ronda at that point would literally done everything she could on Raw. I mean, a change of scenery would be great. It'll put more eyes on SmackDown.
And I fully expect this to happen after WrestleMania. She'll get her first loss at WrestleMania, and Becky or Charlotte will win the Raw Women's title. Yeah. They'll jump ship to Raw. Maybe if they do a draft post WrestleMania, Rousey jumps ship to SmackDown.
Yeah, and that's how I would do it.
I think that they should do drafts every single year. I think that the Monday following Raw after Mania should be the draft every single year. Mm-hmm. Get a fresh new change of scenery and great new feuds.
None of the superstar shakeup where the guys just appear on the show and they're like, "Hey, I'm on the show now."
I hate that. I hate the superstar shakeup.
Ridiculous.
Do the proper draft like back in the day where you have a match. Raw, you could do a Raw versus SmackDown match. SmackDown guy wins.
That was great back in the day.
They get a draft pick, and then on the board it goes through all the people, and you're wondering who it is. Like, that was great.
Yeah, instead of Kurt Hawkins showing up on Raw, "Hey guys, I'm on Raw." Like, who the hell drafted you here? Like, who the hell wants you on the show?
No one cares.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody cares about Kurt Hawkins. That's for sure. All right, so that's the WWE programming and stuff for the week. got a bunch of other stuff to get into, some more positive things to get into. But once again, get in on the conversation on Facebook. John Grande also says, I flippin' love Sonya Deville. Her hard work is so solid. Think she has a bright future in front of her, too. Would love to see her one day in a monster heel and wreck Ronda Rousey. Absolutely. I mean, again.
They would have great ring chemistry because she would know how to take Rousey's moves. Because, like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of these, like, women, they don't know how to take, like, you know, when Ronda does that hip toss over her shoulder, they don't know how to take it, and they fall weird. It just looks awkward. So I feel like someone like Sonya Deville, who has that MMA background, would really work good. But
and that would be a believable feud because, like, she has the MMA gimmick. Obviously, everybody knows Ronda came from MMA. So, yeah, I am a big Sonya Deville supporter and fan. So, yeah, I definitely agree with you, John. She definitely needs something, and I think last night that little exchange with Asuka made her a bigger star than she was before that. So, good stuff there. So let's get into something else. The rumors came out last week about All Elite Wrestling, Nick, a promotion that is apparently going to be run by Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks, not Jim Ross and Chris Jericho like originally reported. It's coming out now that they might be a part of this company, but they're not the ones running the whole thing. Apparently, Cody and the Bucks are doing it all themselves, similar to what they did with All In. And this makes total sense because if you follow their YouTube show, Being the Elite, they're teasing going to WWE. I mean, so much, to the point where they are not going to WWE. There's just no way.
Yeah, I mean, they've been trolling H for how long now with the Stooge H. I mean,
everything with Cody reading WWE facts. I mean, like, they're just not going there. They're all sticking together. They know their potential. They can make so much money. They already have made so much money. They are away from the Bullet Club now. They're the Elite. So, obviously, they have new clothes coming out, new designs, new logos. Why would they just jump ship to WWE after all that? Makes no sense. I legit think that this is happening. This is the future. This is the next big thing. This is what these guys are going to do.
And I think that this is going to prevent I'm not saying that maybe they won't have a 1 to 2 year run eventually, but this will prevent the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega from going to WWE. Maybe ever.
Listen,
I mean,
if this thing gets off the ground, if they get a TV deal, if they can be like, just say what Impact Wrestling is. Now, I know Impact gets a bad rap, whatever, but kudos to them. They've been going strong for over 10 years. They have a TV deal. They're still kicking. If All Elite Wrestling gets a TV deal, they'll be insanely more popular than Impact Wrestling. They will be, probably could be potential competition to the WWE. And yeah, if this is successful, how do Matt, Nick, Cody, Kenny, Marty, Hangman, I mean, maybe the rest of them could go to WWE, but if the Bucks and Cody are the ones running this promotion, how could they walk away from the promotion to go to WWE?
I mean, you can't if they're part owners, which I'm not sure how it all is going to break down, because obviously we know that the guy that owns the Jacksonville Jaguars is the head financer. He could be the head owner, and Jim Ross and Chris Jericho could have some pieces in it. But yeah, you can't just walk away from your own company like that. It's not
no way.
Not like he's signing a deal with them. He's owning it. I mean,
and you see the pictures that the Young Bucks have tweeted out about them learning every facet of the game, like with the headphones producing. They did it at All In. I mean, I think they won't be like big talents on the show. They'll be like running it backstage, maybe appear sometimes, have some matches, but like. It won't be all about them. It'll be about talent that they sign to their promotion.
And also, I mean, there is absolutely no chance in hell this thing flops. I mean, I can guarantee you that if they ran their first show ever at like an all-in style arena, like 10,000 seats, it will sell out. How can this not? People literally buy into everything the Young Bucks, Cody, Kenny Omega, all them do. So why wouldn't they buy into a brand new promotion? I mean,
Nick, like you said, when we went Black Friday shopping last week, we met fans that are big New Japan Pro Wrestling fans, don't watch any WWE. There's fans out there that support Cody, the Bucks, and the whole Elite, the whole Bullet Club, and don't watch WWE. Like, they have so many fans. It's unbelievable, which is why All In sold out in 29 minutes, why they have made a ton of money on merchandise sales and stuff.
They're all the number one sellers in Pro Wrestling Tees every single week. They put new shirts, number one seller.
Instantly. I mean, like, they are something special. They know their worth. They're not going to let the fans down. I totally believe this rumor to be true. And I think you have the whole official article on there, so why don't you go read it off?
Yeah, well, if you look, I mean, and again, it all ties back into some teasers on Being the Elite. The trademark was filed. All Elite Wrestling LLC, based out of Jacksonville, Florida.
Mhm.
And on the trademark, the address was the address of the Jacksonville Jaguars Stadium.
Yeah.
Obviously, where that guy Tony Khan works out of.
Not to mention, on Being the Elite, they're wearing Jaguars apparel now all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Cody, in the beginning of the year, tweets that he's picking the Jaguars to this year. He's got a good feeling. How is that a coincidence, Nick?
It all ties in, too. And also, this stuff that we're reading, this is not rumors. This is official, U.S. trademark. This came from the official, website. So there's a couple of trademarks that they filed. Obviously, All Elite Wrestling, the official name of the company.
AEW
is another trademark. That is the abbreviation for it. Tuesday Night Dynamite. They trademarked, which could mean that they have a TV deal in the works. Hopefully with something like Access TV to run a weekly show. And with Smackdown moving to Friday nights in 2019, makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. It opens up a Tuesday night for wrestling.
That Tuesday night slot.
Yep.
They're not competing with anything else. No NXT, no Impact. They're not compete with that. But Tuesday nights would be their night, so it makes sense for that. AEW Double or Nothing. Obviously, Cody teased in the Ring of Honor, not the Ring of Honor, the Being the Elite episode where he's in Las Vegas. He's like, I'm gonna go hit the casino. I'm gonna go Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all there. It's right.
The
right
writing is on the
us.
freaking wall right now. The writing's on the wall above me right now. I mean, it's all right there.
And also, too, another one, AEW All Out. Gee, I wonder what that's a spinoff of.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's all right here, right in front of our faces. Even have a couple of logos, which might not be official, but it's happening. I'm not gonna say it's happening. There's no chance it does 100%. Not happen. And like I said, there's no chance it doesn't be successful. And I guarantee you, I'll tell you right now, AEW Double or Nothing, if it's in Las Vegas, the Wrestling Radar will be there.
Yeah,
we'll be hitting that up.
I don't see how an event called Double or Nothing could be anywhere besides Las Vegas.
Yeah.
The name speaks for itself. But I mean, Nick, they had no problem, I guess, getting that TV deal for All In 0 Hour, the pre-show on WGN America. So it seemed like it was easy for them to get that, Nick. So why wouldn't? And I'm sure, I don't know what the viewership was. I don't know what the numbers were, but I'm sure that pre-show did big numbers. I mean, I'm sure everybody watched the Battle Royal on there. So why wouldn't a company like WGN America want to invest in this?
Or even a company like Access TV, who already has their working deal with New Japan. Obviously, someone that works very heavily with Access TV and helped New Japan, Mark Cuban, owner of the Mavericks. If he sees this huge business opportunity, why wouldn't he jump on it? And why it's just an opportunity for everybody to make money. I mean, it would be successful. I guarantee that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm again. It might take a little bit of time, but in the long run, how could this fail? These guys couldn't fail if they tried. They are just too good at what they do, and they're great at marketing themselves, promoting themselves, writing the storylines, and Being the Elite. I can only imagine what storylines they would write on Tuesday Night Dynamite, for God's sake.
I mean, if you're able to produce a 20-minute Being the Elite episode made on their cell phone, imagine if they get high quality production.
Yeah,
I mean, it would be insane.
So I'm saying, the Being the Elite episode just came out this past week. The production is unbelievable. I mean, Cody's floating in midair. I still don't know how they did that, Nick. They are just so good at what they do.
Yeah,
how could any of this fail? I don't see how it fails. I really don't. And I am insanely hyped for the roster, the potential roster that this All Elite Wrestling could potentially have. Because there's still some great talent out there, Nick.
Yeah,
the indies aren't dead yet.
Yeah, WWE's scooping up everybody, but they're not scooping up, And I think a thing that they will do is they will find those guys that you might not really have thought of to be really him, but they'll make them into stars.
Yeah, absolutely.
I could see guys shining, obviously at All In. I would have never thought Joey Janela would be on that show for All In. Hell, a lot of people didn't even know who Joey Janela was going into that show.
Exactly.
And he put on an absolute banger that show and got his name out there and made his name even better.
Yeah.
So I think that roster can be so deep. And hell, it could be a spot for some guys who are right now floating in the catering room of WWE.
That's another thing.
And be like, you know what? I want to go do something good. I'm going to go sign with them.
That's another thing, Nick. I think everybody's forgetting that. That's one of the biggest things about this is that I think a report came out too about people in WWE unhappy with their positions, which. I mean, obviously makes a ton of sense.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
doesn't. I don't need to read that report to know that a couple of guys in the backstage area are frustrated with their spot. But a lot of people are going to look at this. They're going to see the amount of creative freedom that these wrestlers are going to have, the amount of TV time that they have to put on great matches, how laid back it is. I think the traveling schedule is not going to be as demanding because the Bucks in particular, have complained about the travel schedule, how they're going from Japan to California to New York, here and there, East Coast, West Coast, out of the country.
Realistically, it could only if that TV deal works out, it would be one day a week for TV, and who knows if they'd even travel to start off with. They might just find a home base like Impact, find a home base and just film there for first year.
Even if they do want to travel and do live events here and there, like they have the power to make those events whenever they want. They have the leverage with their schedule, and I think that's a big thing. And I think that's what's going to lure people from WWE to go there. So guys like Neville who left WWE. If All Elite Wrestling is like a thing, at the time that he left, I could have easily seen him showing up on the show. Like, it's going to attract a lot of WWE talent.
I can see guys who are in WWE that are in floating into oblivion, that know their worth, that know that they can go out there and make a name for themselves. And I mean, like we've seen it so many times of wrestlers leaving WWE. I mean, Pac, Neville is a great example. Who really, they had him jobbed to Enzo, and now he's back into wrestling and he's killing it in Dragon Gate. He's gonna be doing great things. So I
expect to see him at All Elite Wrestling at some point, right?
And we were talking, got into a discussion with our good buddy Brian about what if he thinks this will be an exclusive company or just sign a contract. I don't think so. I don't think that the Bucks and Cody would ever try and monopolize, because like I said, they want to make wrestling as great as it can be. So why would they monopolize all this talent for just their company? Yeah. I think they'd have working relationships with Ring of Honor, with New Japan, with some other promotions around there, and work together, kind of just to form one great company.
I think so too. They have a great relationship with Ring of Honor. They owe a lot to them. They can't just say F you basically and go compete with them. Same with New Japan. Gato brought them in with Okada after they left TNA, gave them an opportunity there. They have a great relationship with them. It just all makes sense, like that they would all work together. Also, though, what Brian was saying to us too is like if they get a TV deal, it might be exclusive because Ring of Honor, New Japan might not want their talent on another network. But again, the fact that it's Cody and the Bucks and not like Vince McMahon makes me think that there's a good chance of it happening. So yeah, I mean, I do think that a working relationship is definitely something that's a good possibility with that. But I mean, I'm telling you, this All Elite Wrestling thing is just so exciting, and it gives me a lot to look forward to for 2019. And I think one of the biggest things about this too is that maybe this will finally wake Vince up. Maybe this will give WWE the competition it needs, because right now Raw's so bad because Vince doesn't have to write a good show because he has no competition. If this promotion gets off the ground and running and is successful, Vince may say, oh shit, we got to get our act together and write a good show because we need to compete with this company and kill them. Yeah, hoping that happens.
And I mean, that's a great possibility of that happening because like I said it a bunch of times today. I'll say it again. I'll say it next week. This company cannot fail. They cannot fail.
These guys can't fail. So the company definitely won't.
Like I said, they got the Midas touch. Everything they touch turns to gold. I mean, it's incredible that that they have this power in the wrestling business.
Absolutely. So we'll look forward to that. Who knows when they're going to announce it, how they're going to announce it, when it's going to be like an official thing. We don't know any of the details yet, but as of January 1st, I think things will get really, really interesting. So the Bucks and Cody,
the Bucks and Cody are wrestling their final Ring of Honor matches at Final Battle this year,
as well as Hangman Page. They're wrestling a couple weeks away in New York City. Will be their last Ring of Honor matches, unless again they're working together and they agree to work the big Ring of Honor shows. Who knows? We have no idea, but for right now, probably will be their last Ring of Honor shows. So yeah, it's something very, very exciting to look forward to. Got about 10 more minutes left on the show, and I wanted to touch on a new thing that came out about the WWE NXT UK brand. Apparently, they changed the rule of their contracts, so all the talent on NXT UK are now exclusive to WWE, which means they cannot work on the independents anymore, excluding companies like Progress,
WXW, and ICW.
So those are the promotions that they can still work, which is good, but everything else they can't do anymore. They're just exclusive to WWE NXT UK. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, I don't hate it because, I mean, I think that NXT UK, obviously, it's going to have a great following because, NXT, the UK is a great, wrestling, country. They have some great fans. But I just don't think... I don't think that keeping these wrestlers off, places like Progress. I think that when they were promised that, they even said too. William Regal even said that when they started this, it was not going to be exclusive. That they were still going to wrestle in Progress.
It changed, yes.
But I think things obviously changed. But I don't
But,
really know
I mean,
what my opinion is.
The
on
report does say progress, but then I read another report that said only dark matches, not on the streaming service.
Which I mean, I guess that means if they come to New York for it's a regular show,
they could do that
Yeah, they
on a
can do
tour,
that.
but they can't be on demand progress. But I don't know. See, I also read another report that Jim Smallman, who is one of the founders of Progress, and Glenn Joseph are working with NXT UK. So it's good that Triple H is not basically saying, well, you started this. Move on over. Now the big boys are coming into town, and we're just going to take over everything you created here. At least they're working together. That makes me happy in a way. But I'll always still love Progress. But I guess now it's time for talent to step up, new talent to get in there and make a name for themselves. So this could be a good thing. You know,
it could be a changing of the guard, kind of not out with the old in with the new, but I mean, guys like Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, Trent Seven. I mean, they've been running UK in Progress for how long now? So,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, and it's about time. And these contracts did say that they're higher paying contracts, so maybe
they're making more money.
A lighter schedule for these guys. So and it was their choice. They didn't just make them sign it; they offered it to them. So whoever took the contract obviously knew what they were getting themselves into.
Yeah, well,
so
Pete Dunne,
they were ready for it.
Pete Dunne put a fan on blast saying, he's worked 12 years. He's given up a lot of his family time. He gave up a lot of money just for an opportunity. He's been wrestling for so long. This is his dream job. If you achieve your dream job, you're going to go for that. You're not going to think about the independents. He spent a long time there. Us fans want to see him on the independents, but we can't all be selfish, And like you said, I think you said before, it's more accessible now to watch these talents on the WWE network because everybody is the network. It'll give them more exposure and Progress. Like I mentioned to you on the drive over here, they run a show and then 5-6 days later it comes out. It's kind of hard to watch a show 5 days later.
Knowing all the results and everything.
Exactly.
That happened. It's
At least this is now a weekly schedule. I watched the show today. They did a doubleheader because I wanted to see Pete Dunne versus Jordan Devlin. Great match. And Rhea Ripley versus Toni Storm, first ever NXT UK Women's Championship match. Rhea Ripley walked out the winner as the new champ. We've known that for 3 months, but good stuff there. I thought the matches were great. And now news comes out that there's going to be an NXT UK takeover Blackpool in England.
And in the same building that Tyler Bate won the inaugural UK tournament.
January 12th. It'll be a Saturday afternoon. It'll be live, probably 3 p.m. I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean,
that's probably the only problem with the UK is that I'm probably not gonna get to watch a lot of it live because I work middays. You work morning.
Of course. Nobody's
and a lot of people work middays, so
a
lot of people aren't gonna be able to watch them live. But I mean, like I said, it's good for UK, and I hope that. I mean, I think it will be now that they're signed exclusively that maybe in a year or two, Pete Dunne can move up to Smackdown, and all these guys, Rhea Ripley can jump to Raw. I think that
I hope
it
so,
should be a stepping stone for these people. Hopefully,
only time will tell about that. But I mean, I was thinking too, if that doesn't happen, I mean, I'm quite okay with that because NXT UK is basically like NXT. It's that good. It's 1 hour, and why would we want to see these guys on the main roster? Why would we want to see them?
At least not right now, but
yeah. Over time, again, only time will tell what the future of the UK brand is and how they go about this. Tag titles are being presented too at the Takeover special, so they'll probably crown their first ever tag team champions over there. So I mean, this is a pretty cool thing, and at first I didn't really like it, but again, you got to think of it from their aspect. They're making more money, providing for their families, got their dream job, more exposure. I mean, it all makes sense. And now for the independents, more guys got to step up. I don't think the indies will ever die. I mean, they haven't died yet.
Yeah, no.
Everything eventually.
There's always something new coming up. Someone new, starting, and gimmicks. It doesn't take much for a wrestler to get over and become a big thing. I mean, like you said, it's time for someone to step up.
Exactly. Some other news now, and this guy could potentially be headed to NXT UK. Walter, current Progress World Champion, has signed a deal with WWE. Just another one bites the dust, as you said. Another one off the independents, which I think this was only a matter of time. He's going to stay with NXT UK, though, because Dave Meltzer reported that this guy has no interest in going to Raw or SmackDown. He does not want to do tours in the U.S. He does not want to live in the U.S.
Well,
he's content living where he's living in Germany.
That's another thing that I was jumped in my head when I proposed the question of think they can jump up. A lot of these guys, you can't just call up Pete Dunne and expect him to move to a different country. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
It will be a lot for these guys. So maybe UK is the glass ceiling they can't break out of, and maybe they're maybe they're fine with that.
Yeah.
You can't expect these guys, so you just pack up their lives and move to another country.
Yeah, well, he's one of them that doesn't want to do that, so I'm sure he'll be on NXT UK for the long run. And again, that's great. If that's the company that he wants to go to now, I mean, hey, it's something different for him. He's done a lot on the indies, and now with WWE scooping up everybody, there's less to do for guys like him who have already accomplished a lot. So it'll be interesting to see if he does drop the Progress title, though, because, again, if he doesn't, that means that they could still work Progress on demand, like on the streaming service. So, again, only time will tell with all this stuff, but we'll have to wait and see.
I read, too, that obviously WWE is going to let all these wrestlers that sign new deals finish out their contracted, matches and appearances with all these companies. So maybe Progress will plan around that, and maybe they know they got Pete Dunne for 3 more matches,
Exactly.
and they'll plan that around or something along the lines of that.
5 more minutes left here, but before we forget about this, I wanted to touch on this. Condolences go over to Edge's mom. Sadly passed away, as he said on his Instagram, with a long, heartfelt post to her last night. Right before I went to sleep, I saw it, and I was really sad about it. If you remember, when he retired, she was in the crowd. Remember that segment where he was so happy? Like, he has such a great relationship with his mom, you could tell.
Back in, there's a documentary out there called You Think You Know Me, the Edge story, and great. I think it's on the network. Definitely recommend watching it. And Edge mentions, he did the whole thing about how, he really didn't, have a good relationship with his father growing up, or he didn't have one of those two. And his mom, when he said he's told her he wanted to be a wrestler, she said, go for it.
Yeah.
And she believed him, which is very hard to, get in these days. You hear a lot of wrestlers that don't have support from their families because, they don't think it's something real, but she knew how much it meant to him and believed him every way, which ultimately helped him get to where he was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, when he retired, I remember him talking about his mom, and then you remember what everybody started chanting, "Thank you, Mom," and she got all shy and stuff. So I remember her very, very well. Obviously, it was years and years ago. I don't know if she was sick. I don't know the cause of death, but rest in peace to Judy Copeland, Edge's mother. Sad news to see last night. So I just want to really quick go over this now because we promised our fans we were going to come out with a Q&A video for not having a show last week. We did not do good on that promise. We did not film a video. Just time was not on our side, so we're going to go through really quick
rapid
fire questions here. We got a couple of them, so hit it.
All right. So what is the best wrestling show that you guys have ever been to?
That is give yours first.
Such a tough one. I can't pick a single show with matches. I'm just gonna say experience-wise, WrestleMania 33 because my first ever WrestleMania, and it's just overall great.
All in for me. I mean I'm talking about it show-wise, and experience because that was a great experience. So show-wise, experience-wise, all in for me. Best show I've ever been to.
What match do you wish you saw live? These are hard questions to do rapid fire. I'm gonna change. Oh, okay, Joe asked a follow-up question. I'm going to do that one instead. What moment do you wish you were there live for? Seth Rollins cashing in at WrestleMania 31.
Yeah, yep.
That's my moment I wish I was there live for.
I wish I was there for that one, too. Yeah, that would be mine.
Let's go to our boy Jason. Says, do you predict any notable changes in the presentation format of SmackDown Live when it moves to Fox? I don't see any presentation. I think it's going to look like the normal SmackDown, but I think they're going to press them to... This SmackDown already does this though, more wrestling, not a lot of comedy, and kind of get more straight to the point and be a wrestling show. But like I said, no, I don't really see anything changing that drastically.
Me neither. I could see a logo change. That's it. But I don't see the format of the show. I mean, I just don't see anything. I don't expect anything to change.
And then the question that we started off the show, it lived in a little foreshadow. Between the two of you, who is Matt Jackson and who is Nick Jackson? I don't know. I mean, and obviously it's not like a disrespect factor, like if one's better than the other.
No, they're equal. Let me tell you, I don't love one more than the other. I love them both equally.
But I guess we'll say that since I'm the tech person in the group, I edit the videos, I film the videos.
Just like Nick does for being the elite.
So I guess I'm Nick Jackson.
And I'm Matt Jackson, which I have no problem with. Again, one is not superior than the other. They're both great. So what was the question before that you said that you were stumped on? Let me see. With
was it
a minute and a half left.
What did I say? What's the best match you've ever seen? I think it was.
Oh, best match, or was it the best moment I've ever seen live, or best match?
No. No. What match do you wish you saw live?
I wish we saw live.
Oh man, that's tough. I mean, like I said, we're spoiled. We get a lot of good matches.
All right, I'm gonna say Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. One of them, WrestleMania 25, or the Omega Okada matches.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think I might have to jump back to my former moment, Jeff Hardy, that triple threat where Jeff Hardy won the title, Jeff Hardy, Triple H, Edge, because
That was a good one.
That was just a great moment for me altogether.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in again for this week's episode of Wrestling Radar. Remember to follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, at The Wrestle Radar. Subscribe to us on YouTube, at The Wrestling Radar. We'll be back next week here on Ram Nation Radio. As always, until then, be good, everybody.